Why pay union dues if your voice doesn't matter? My name is John Murphy, branch 4716, Naples, Florida. It's currently March 28th, 10 a.m., and this is my fourth attempt at recording this. You're not asking coworkers to join a social club or an insurance plan. You're asking them to join a fight over issues that matter. Union dues are the bricks and mortar of our labor movement. History shows that what will convince workers to stick with their union is building collective fights that make gains for all of us. Much more effective than a grievance is shop floor action. People who would never act alone will find courage to act together with others. The more people participate in solving a problem, the more they will develop the skills and confidence to take on other problems, and the union's power will grow. Your goal is to develop a union culture in the workplace, not just at the union hall. Develop a union culture in the workplace where workers expect to participate in defending the contract and defending other workers. Our strength comes from our solidarity. The whole point of the attacks coming down the pipeline is to destroy our collective power and identity by making unions about individual decisions. Billionaire-backed anti-union groups want us arguing over small internal issues rather than fighting the boss. Getting rid of exclusive representation and the duty of fair representation just plays into their hands. Our fights should be for a better quality of life for all workers and communities, where nobody is just scraping by. The solution is to build the fight, not to hunker down. It is to expand the bonds of solidarity, not narrow them. Instead of looking for other alternative methods, we should focus on the union building tactics that history has proven are successful: workplace actions, strikes, and solidarity. And we should be fighting for the interests of all workers, rather than being narrowly interested in only one workplace or segment of workers. And when the laws restrict our right to strike or to act in solidarity with other workers, we need to change those laws. What I just read came from various articles by the boat rockers and troublemakers publishing their articles into Labor Notes. If you agree with the tone of that message, check out labornotes.org. Also, join me and other NALC members from across the country June 12th to June 14th, 2026 in Chicago at the Labor Notes Conference. There will be over 4,000 workers sharing their stories, from workers walking a picket line to workers winning back their union halls. We need more boat rockers and troublemakers inside the NALC. If you're still listening, thank you. What I'm about to say may be very uncomfortable for many people and may resonate with many other people. This is my thoughts, beliefs, and my story, not anyone else's. This is my fourth attempt at reading this. Please bear with me. I'm 37, living paycheck to paycheck. I'm table 2, step C, and I'm on the overtime desired list down here in Naples, Florida. I was hired in July 2021. When I was a CCA, I actively read the JCAM, the M39, the M41, and the actual contract, and also read various manuals and the defenses to discipline. I attended majority of the union meetings, and I still do. Most of the time was the only rank and file member there besides my coworker Matt Pollins. Once I made it past probation inside our office of nearly 60 routes, I asked, how do I become a shop steward? Our office is entitled to 2 stewards. We currently only had 1 steward who was the vice president at the time. I was informed that they'll start training me soon. I was excited. I was a butcher at Whole Foods, but I missed the union life, the culture of improving the lives of the workers. By this time, it was the start of the Christmas season 2021, and we were coming in at 6 a.m. and clocking out way past 6 p.m. So I filed a grievance for working over 12 hours. The supervisor and the 204B at the time quickly started calling me contract guy and union guy. As Steve Hillebrand said, "You're now the lightning rod of our office." July 2022, I tried to become active with the AFL-CIO Labor Council, which meets in Fort Myers, and I live across the street from, and I started attending. The Labor Council wanted me to become an official delegate, represent the branch. I was told no by the branch leadership. I quickly got disheartened and embarrassed. I have yet to return to a Labor Council meeting. If you have ever been to an AFL-CIO Labor Council meeting, you know how boring they are. August 2022. Our office has a morning office break. 12 of us were loading our trucks on a Sunday. Break time approached, and I started walking into the break room, as did 3 others. The manager tells us we don't get breaks on Sundays. I laughed and continued towards the air-conditioned break room. The manager came in quickly to tell us we have 2 choices, either get back to work or clock out and go home. Before this manager could realize what he just said, the 4 of us were already clocked out. The next day, our union and the postmaster already settled the issue, because it quickly spread across the city and the state of what happened. Branch leadership approached me and talked about how my approach was wrong, and I should have just done what I was told and filed a grievance. This is when I realized I was never going to be a shop steward. My labor theory doesn't align with the current branch leadership. I believe in direct action from the membership and building shop floor union. November 2022, I became a full-time regular city carrier. By this time, I have management telling newer CCAs to avoid me. By this time, I'm constantly on a daily basis being harassed by management because of being very vocal about contract violations, being pro-union, and having an overburdened route. June 2023, I passed around an anonymous questionnaire with 10 basic questions to the coworkers inside my office to see if I'm just a lunatic or if other coworkers feel what I feel. Some of the questions were, has our union ever asked if you wanted to get involved? Do you think our union could do better on educating the workers on important issues regarding our workplace? Do you know the difference between Table 1 pay scale, Table 2 pay scale, and what is something you would like to see our union start doing? Out of the 70 coworkers inside my office, just over 40 filled out this questionnaire, put it back into the blank envelope, and left them inside my case or handed them directly to me. A few days later, I opened them up, made copies, and brought them to our branch leadership. It was a short conversation that ended with, if members have concerns about the branch, they can simply state it at a union meeting. Their voices were totally silent. Fall 2023. By this point, I fully realized I was sidelined, blackballed, blacklisted, or whatever you want to name it. I was kicked to the side by my branch leadership. So I wanted to get to the national convention to meet like-minded union members and help change our union. Somehow, branch nominations and elections happened the same night. That is not how it is supposed to be. I was prepared for the status quo to try to push me aside. So I packed that union meeting and was elected a branch delegate. After the election, my branch president told me, we usually send 3 people. Branch president, vice president, and the retired president. I said, that's not how we're playing anymore. February 2024, I tried to establish an event planning committee inside of our branch to give back to the members. I was kicked to the sidelines on that idea. We just worked through COVID. We were targeted by management. and we have no idea what the contract was. I thought it would be nice to boost the morale of our members. April 2024. I tried to get our branch to have a discussion about the open bargaining resolution that Tyler Vassler brought forward at an upcoming union meeting, so we can hopefully pass a resolution as a branch. That was just completely ignored. In the end, the most crippling moment for me was when I drove from Fort Myers in the morning to Naples to our union hall, just for my branch president to tell me he doesn't trust me and I won't become a shop steward until I fall in line. I left that union hall in tears. That was the most emotional experience I've ever dealt with inside of a union. Summer 2024, members across the Naples area were calling me and texting me if I was going to run for branch president. I laughed and said no. I'll take one of the vacant positions, which at the time were secretary, treasurer, and health benefit rep. I became the health benefit rep. Spring 2025, March 2025. I recently just stepped down as the health benefit rep. Between the toxic workplace, National NALC selling out the membership, and the branch leadership calling me divisive for being active in the reform movement, Build a Fighting NALC, for building a Vote No movement, and then also with branch leadership telling me they can't trust me and publicly threatening me with Article 10 charges to remove myself from the union. I personally, John Murphy, need to step away from that role as a health benefit rep and focus on my own well-being. I am sorry. I am sorry for any misleading I have done, and I will address this at the April branch meeting. Am I going to stop paying union dues? Fuck no. This is my union. This is your union. This is our union. This is our fight. I'm stepping back to regain my mental stability. In 2027, Branch 4716 will have elections. And if members still want me to run for branch president, I will. But I do hope our branch leadership changes the way they view what a labor union is. Sure, I'm completely sidelined and have no training on how to file a grievance, which is one of the attacks they'll use against me. But be mindful. Branch leadership are the ones gatekeeping the education and the knowledge from our membership. So if you want me to become a branch president or a branch leader, join me. We need to transform our union. It's currently March 28th, 2025, and we are currently witnessing the erosion of labor unions across the federal government. I strongly believe a labor union is bigger than Article 8 overtime grievances. If you're still listening to this, I'm literally begging you to own your union. Sure, we want Brian Renfro out of office, and we're probably wondering with dread if the NALC will even be around in 3 weeks. But the reality is, we are the workers. We are labor, and labor creates all wealth. Own your union. Run for a 2026 National Convention delegate position. Run for a shop steward. Run for branch trustee. Run for branch sergeant at arms. Run for branch president. We can no longer allow the Table 1 status quo union leaders to ruin our careers across our union. 2013 happened and there was no fight like hell movement. That was the start of the erosion of this career. President Trump in his first term attacked workers and attacked labor unions. And now we have branch leaders and national officers across the country acting like they didn't see these attacks coming. That's a complete failure of leadership. We can't allow another 2013 to happen. We can't allow the suits and ties to erode our retirement benefits. We can't allow the suits and ties to erode our health benefits, and we can't allow the suits and ties to erode this career down to a low wage, high turnover, part-time job. If you're table 2, you're the next generation of letter carriers. This is your union. I'm begging you to join me and fight for a future. Pay your union dues and help build a future where we can actually leave our children better off than how we have had it. If we, a unionized workforce, are not comfortable addressing the fact that the billionaire class has always been attacking the working class and is currently openly attacking the Postal Service, we have already lost the fight. However, you want to say it, billionaire class, ruling class, the 1%. The agenda has always been and will always be to break labor unions and to divide the workers. That is not a secret and not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. Anyone, even if they're 80 plus years old, that wants to get into the fight for workers need to be embraced, not mocked, because you don't agree with their politics. Doesn't matter if you're a Republican or a Democrat, workers' rights are human rights. Thank you for your time.